Hello guys, welcome back. So in the previous video, we had finished up the UI for our login page. And now in this video, what we're going to do is actually start baking in the authentication logic of our application. So without anything further to do, let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is that we're going to go back to Firebase and we're going to click on authentication. And then we're going to, now what we're going to do is go to sign-in methods. And then for email and password, we're going to do enable. And then click on save. After this, we're going to go back to users. We're going to click on add a user, and I'm going to type in the user. And what we're going to do is that we're going to type in the email for the user. So I'll just call this email for the user as hussein.mustafa@gmail.com. And then the password for the user, and I'll just give it dummy password, which is test123. Then add the user. Okay. Just copy this user ID, and this is a step that I want to just do right now, but it's an optional step. But I would recommend that you do this right now, and because later on when users are actually created by the mobile application, the step that we're doing right now is going to be automated. And we'll click on database, and then what we're going to do is to click on create database. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on start in test mode, and click on next, and then select the Cloud Firestore location. For me, NAM5 is good, so it's US Central, and this should now provision a Cloud Firestore database instance for you. So we're just gonna wait and see when Firebase is done doing its magic, and then I'll continue the video. Okay everyone, so looks like that Firebase is done and we have a database all set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on start collection, and we're going to type in users as our collection ID. So we're going to have a users collection, and this is going to store all of the users inside of our application. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click next. And then we're going to add the first document inside of our collection. Collection is made up of a number of documents. So for the document ID, we're not going to use an automatically generated ID, but what we're going to use is the user ID that we obtained when we created the user in the authentication tab. And I copied mine, and you should copy for the user that you created. And then we're going to just define some basic stuff. And the reason I'm doing this right now is because I want to show you how the user is going to be modeled in the database. And I thought that before we get into the actual authentication logic within the app, it would be a good thing for me to actually show you how Firestore actually works. And Firestore refers to the database, actual database that we're using instead of Firebase. So with that out of the way, let's get going. So now that we have the document ID defined, the next thing I'm going to do is define some of the attributes for our document, or user in this case. And the first one is going to be the email, and the email is going to be hussein.mustafa@gmail.com, so the same email for my user. Then I'm going to define the name for the user, so I'm just going to do name string, and then I'm just going to call it James, or not James Dean, it's Hussein Mustafa. I'm then going to do the last seen attribute, so when was the user last seen on the app, and I'm just going to put in an arbitrary timestamp for now, and I'm just going to do 14 and then just do like 12:00:00. So at 12 was the last time they saw the user on the app. And then what I'm going to do is define the image attribute. And for now, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go to provider.cc and get a user thumbnail image from here. But in later videos, we'll bake in the logic where we'll upload a photo in the sign up process and then actually use that. So I'm just going to go here, and then I'm going to just copy this ID. I don't know what this image is, but let's just copy this. Or I want to do something cool, so you can copy this one, I guess. So just open the image in new tab and then copy this, and then paste this as the value for our image string, and then do command save. So now you're going to see that we have a users collection, and this users collection has a document that has some data inside of it, and data is the name of the user, and this is how we're going to model a user inside of our database. When the time actually comes to do all of the logic related to actual chat messages and chats or conversations between participants, we are actually going to add some more additional data to each of the user documents. But for now, I think this is a good starting point. Okay, so with the database setting all set up and the authentication enabled and a user registered in Firebase, I think I'm going to end this video here. And now in the next video, we're actually going to go and code the authentication logic inside of our application. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.